forced out of bounds. Two markers thrown behind the play, one at the 34 and another one at the 43 on Denver's side of the field. It's a 20-yard return after the 44-yard punt by Anger.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 36, 10-yard penalty. Denver keeps the ball. First down. Timeout on the field.
That's Kayvon Webster, 20-7 Denver on CBS.
Keep the dream alive with the Honda Accord. The car that made Car and Driver's 10 Best a record 30 times just got better. With features like multi-angle rear view camera, standard. The Honda Accord.
All right. Son?
Okay.
All right, here goes nothing.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that is amazing.
Balance sheets, profit and loss. My mind doesn't function the way yours must.
The accountant. He has evaded every government agency. Multiple identities. He's incredibly dangerous.
Everyone's hiding something.
Who are you?
What is this?
I don't discuss client business.
The Accountant. Rated R.
The new season of NCIS LA has kicked into high gear on the move to its new night.
I just stay on the ground.
CBS Tonight. Will they go too far?
We all know the risks.
And will she make it back?
Will you please wake up?
A new NCIS Los Angeles, CBS Tonight, or stream it live or on demand.
Several Bucs rookies surprised patients and their families at the Moffitt Cancer Center earlier this week. The Bucs Rookie Club will continue to participate in a variety of outreach activities throughout the year that support active and retired military, inspire underprivileged youth, and promote healthy lifestyles for local children. Nice effort by some of their first-year players. Well, they hope can contribute here with Tampa Bay down 13 points. Spiro Ditas, Salman Wilcox, Ryan Galvin, our producer, Andy Goldberg, our director, rest of our CBS crew. At Raymond James Stadium here in Week 4. Lynch with the quick strike finds Sanders as we revisit our themes. Salman from the top of the show.
Well, at the top, we said that the Denver Broncos have to be able to run on the road. Done an adequate job. Was able to score a rushing touchdown in this game. And we said that Tampa needed to avoid the sacks and turnovers, something they have not done. The two early interceptions have really hurt the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then they've not been able to protect their quarterback. The turnovers, though, have been a killer.
If you've just joined us, Paxton Lynch, their first-round pick, getting his first NFL regular season experience, came on in relief of Trevor Siemian, who was hurt in the latter stages of the second quarter, a left shoulder injury. Broncos have told us that the plan is to keep Lynch in the game and that, if possible, Siemian could be available to return.
And with that said, I think the Broncos are going to have to improve on those rushing numbers we just showed you. 54 yards rushing is not going to get it. I think you've got to get C.J. Anderson going, Devontae Booker, and not have to put it on the shoulders of Paxton Lynch. But now on 3rd and 4, when he's operated out of the shotgun, he's looked very good.
Broncos only 2 of 8 on 3rd down. Lynch slinging it and finds Sanders. First down on the catch and run, 18 yards as they approach the 50.
Yeah, sure it helps, though. If you're a rookie quarterback playing in your very first game and you have receivers like Emmanuel Sanders, it makes your job a whole lot easier. Sanders said he got tired of looking at all the highlights and people talking about the Broncos defense. And hey, you got to protect the quarterback. And I'm looking at all the receivers around the league making plays. He said, hey, you know, we're not chopped liver here in Denver.
This is Anderson, ducks his way inside Tampa territory. He is just a guy who oozes personality. 117 yards through the air last week for Sanders. Couple of touchdowns, including the 41-yarder from Siemian. What a tandem they have in he and Thomas.
Yeah, he believes that they can upgrade the quarterback position. He believes they're so reliable and so consistent in terms of their ability, and they crave the football. They'll make plays for any young quarterback.
C.J. Anderson gets a breather. Devontae Booker on the field takes a give from Lynch. Booker, who had a fumble that he lost on his first NFL carry back in week 1 against Carolina. Can you imagine he's joining a championship team that has really kind of climbed that psychological hurdle after that early gaffe? So Denver now goes into the playbook on 3rd and 4.
Yeah. But see, they're running the ball good enough to create these 3rd and 4 opportunities. Now you put Lynch in shotgun. Yeah, you can run a draw, but they feel comfortable with him throwing the ball in this situation.
Lynch 10 of 17, just over 100 yards, going to take a shot far side of the field, looking in the direction of Emmanuel Sanders. Coverage on the play by Brent Grimes.
Sanders had a step on Grimes. Now it's not a big window to throw it into, but drop it in over the shoulder. He's going to bring this one in. Yeah, it's overthrown by just a hair. Lynch has got to be able to give him a chance to make a play on that when he knows it.
5th punt by the rookie Riley Dixon, the 7th round pick out of Syracuse. We'll try to pin them back on their side of the field, and it is caught. Excellent coverage down the field by Denver. Webster with another special teams gem for Gary Kubiak.
Now that FedEx has helped us simplify our e-commerce, we can focus on bigger issues, like our passive-aggressive environment.
We're not passive-aggressive.
Hey. There are no bad suggestions here, no matter how lame they are.
Well said, Anne. I've always admired how you just say what's in your head without thinking. Very brave.
Good point, Ted. You're living proof that looks aren't everything.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So, FedEx helps simplify our e-commerce business, and this is not a passive-aggressive environment.
I just want to say you guys are doing a great job.
What's that supposed to mean?
FedEx, helping small business simplify e-commerce.
Josh, don't you have friends coming over?
Yeah? So?
It stinks in here. You've got to wash this whole room.
Are you kidding? Wash it?
Let's wash it with Febreze.
For all the things you can't wash, use Febreze Fabric Refresher.
Whoa.
Hey, Mrs. Walker.
Hey, it smells nice in here.
And try pluggable Febreze with up to 4 times the freshness in one refill. Pluggable Febreze and Fabric Refresher. 2 more ways to breathe happy.
Crowds in Midtown today mean only one thing.
Everyone is ready for the next-gen iPhone. And so is Verizon, with the only next-gen network that lets you make the most of it. LTE Advanced delivers 50% faster peak speeds to over 450 cities coast to coast. The next-gen iPhone deserves the next-gen network. And right now, get our best offer, iPhone 7 for $99.
Catch TV's #1 new comedy, Kevin Can Wait, CBS Monday after The Big Bang Theory.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Welcome to Verizon LTE Advanced, the next-gen network. And by Sonic. This is how you Sonic.
That's Joe Hawley, Tampa Bay center, one of the great beards in sports. Got us to thinking about some of the other top beards around professional sports. I still have to go with Dan Fauci. As Sims able to cross the 10. Dan's been working on that beard a long time, but now can Hawley kind of pave the way, Solomon, for this Tampa Bay ground game that has been halted till this point? Not much to talk about. Sims only 24 yards, and Jaquiz Rogers 20 yards right behind him.
Yeah, they have to be able to power the run game and give themselves some balance and play action pass opportunities. Jameis Winston is going to have to get this offense cranked up. They've been very good when they're moving very rapidly off the line of scrimmage.
This is 2nd and 6. Sims, who left the game briefly in the first half, Trying to find some daylight. Brandon Marshall was there. So now Jameis Winston, who's just one of his last 5 pass attempts for only 6 yards. Solomon somehow trying to jumpstart this offense that just seems dead at the moment. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Oh, they want to do it with the run game. But, you know, Sims is not hitting the line of scrimmage, not hitting the hole. As you take a look at Doug Martin out with that hamstring injury, Sims is going to have to attack the line of scrimmage running more aggressively.
We saw Doug Martin on that Tampa Bay sideline. 3rd and 2. Winston steps up and sacked. Derek Wolfe again. 3rd sack of Winston today.
Oh, he held the ball too long. I think he wanted to go over to the left. Now watch, he's going to come in right there. And that's where he's looking, over to his left. The ball's got to come out. Ball had to come out much faster. You hold on to it, bad things tend to happen. This is one mean pass rush for the Denver Broncos.
Winston really struggling. He's not completed more than 2 passes consecutively in this game. And he's attempted now 22 passes till this point. Through those early picks and just has not been able to clear that hurdle since. 20-7 Denver, late 3rd.
I got just the thing. A KFC $20 fill-up. Now with extra crispy tenders. Feeling better, son? Yeah. But now hold on, don't run and chew. It's finger-licking good.
Gray skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face. Brush off the clouds and cheer up. Put on a happy face.
I don't like you going to a country that's preparing for war.
This is treason.
This is how you save your country.
How could you suggest a complete change of U.S. foreign policy?
I'm talking about doing what's right.
Now we know about Sanders and Demaryius Thomas, the 2 wide receiving threats, and they have been on point today again for the Broncos.
Hero, they both have been there no matter who's playing quarterback, whether it's Siemian and now Paxton Lynch, the rookie. They're reliable and they're making plays, whether they're in traffic or getting open. Look at them, both 5 or more receptions in this game. Thomas has been able to get into the end zone, and if Paxton Lynch would have gotten the ball over the top to Sanders, maybe he would have him a touchdown. But I think you've got to continue to allow them to help the offense. Sooner or later, you got to double cover one of those guys, and gives you room to run the football.
So here's Paxton Lynch, 10 of 18, 104 yards since coming on in relief of Trevor Siemian late 2nd quarter. Play action here on 1st and 10. Kubiak lets him take a shot. Intended for Sanders. And 1 second left in the 3rd quarter. Grimes again on the coverage.
Strong play action. What that does for a young quarterback, the coverage declares itself right away. Now, he saw a defender on top in Brent Grimes, had a defender underneath. That's why he overthrew it. He didn't want to put that ball in harm's way. You can see that strong arm of Paxton Lynch.
One play called. Anderson is wrapped up in the backfield. And with that, end of the 3rd in Tampa Bay. Will return after this. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
He's got a man all by himself. Holy cow. Caught. Touchdown.
Catch an all-new episode of Hawaii Five-0, CBS Friday, 9/8 Central.
Today, we're talking about automotive awards. What if I told you there was a car company that received all of these awards?
One company won an award in all these? Chevy.
Chevrolet is the most awarded car company of the last 2 years.
I love it. It's fierce.
Blown away by that. So I'm just going to stay in here. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Now through October 10th, get 0% financing for 72 months on all your favorite 2016 Chevy models. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
When I was first starting out as an engineer, I had to rely on my credit cards. The high interest rates were frustrating. So I looked for a smarter solution. With a personal loan from SoFi, I was able to cut my interest rates by 50%, and I'm saving over $8,000. Now I am back on top of my finances, and it feels really good.
A personal loan from SoFi is the smart way to consolidate debt. Get your rate online in less than 2 minutes. Visit trysofi.com.
What are you doing?
Sarah, I love you.
No, it's my brother. Keep going.
Sarah, were you married?
What do you want, Todd?
Keep it going! If you sit on your phone, you butt dial people. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
I know we just met like 2 months ago.
You are watching NFL Sunday Ticket.
A Brandon McManus field goal, the lone scoring in the third quarter as we welcome you to Tampa, start of the fourth. Denver in that quarter, 91 yards of total offense. Solomon, Tampa had -4.
And now Denver goes into the fourth quarter where they've outscored their opponents by 32 points in the fourth quarter in their first 3 games. So this is where they normally begin to heat it up. That's bad news for the Buccaneers.
This is usually the point where Trevor Siemian had been lights out. But the Siemian, as you saw right now, a bystander dealing with that left shoulder injury. So Lynch on 3rd and 11 trying to find Demaryius Thomas. And Grimes once again was with him step for step.
Oh, Lynch almost paid for this one. Watch the break by Grimes. He stuttered, stepped just one moment of hesitation, or he would have had himself an interception, but it was great anticipation and a good break on the ball to keep Thomas from making the catch.
A couple of Pro Bowlers going at it there. Thomas, 7 catches, 83 yards if you've just joined us. As Riley Dixon, who's suddenly become a busy man, on to punt yet again. Humphreys back deep, going to play it from right around his own 5. Makes a couple of guys miss, crosses the 15 and is brought down at the 16-yard line. 54 yards on the punt and 11 on the return by Humphreys. Tonight, the remarkable story of the woman who fought off her terrorist kidnappers and won, plus who's in control of the trillions of dollars worth of natural resources in the Arctic. 60 Minutes travels to the top of the world to find out tonight, only CBS. Now, this is the total yards by quarter. As we just mentioned, some of the issues that Tampa Bay has had. They had a pretty good start, but boy, their offense has gone south.
Yeah, and Jameis Winston's got to do a better job of just getting the ball out and improving his tempo and timing in the passing game.
Carter lines up Charles Sims in the slot towards the bottom of your picture here on 1st and 10. Winston feeling the pressure, completes. This is Sims. And that could be a horse collar tackle.
Yep.
As Davis got him from the back. Multiple flags come in. And it was a pickup of 9.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, horse collar tackle, defense, number 51. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Spirit's about player safety, and that's why they've outlawed this kind of play, because you usually yank that player down and then you fall on the back of their legs. See, just like that can cause severe injury to the lower legs. We saw one on Russell Wilson a week ago.
That's right.
Injuring his knee.
Cameron Brate in motion, 1st and 10 after the penalty. Winston, as they set up a little screen to Evans. But pick up only a yard. Tackled on the play by Chris Harris. And Evans has been bottled up by that Broncos secondary that has been so dominant over the last couple of years.
Good corners. You know, we talk about Chris Harris Jr. and Aqib Talib, and don't forget about Bradley Rope.
2nd and 9. Winston flushed out of the pocket. Under pressure again. Contact and pressure applied by Derek Wolfe, who's putting himself together a very nice afternoon.
Winston's under constant pressure. You talked about Wolfe, but see right here, the ball's got to come out, because see, when Brate turns it up the field right there, just throw it. But he tried to get it out, but Wolfe is draped around the ankles of Winston, and it's hard to keep that ball on target and be accurate throwing it down the field when you're under extreme pressure.
This has been a theme. Winston under pressure all 4 games this season. 3rd and 9. Reverse spin to get away from the pressure. He eludes a second defender, throws, and it's incomplete. Mike Evans screaming for a penalty, but once again blanketed by that secondary.
Well, you want to get it to Mike Evans, but look, there's no time. See, look, pressure. He's busy running for his life. You say, well, how come Jameis hadn't thrown it? He's busy trying to elude Jared Crick and other defenders. There's Von Miller. By the time you reset and reload to throw it, it's too late. The receiver is no longer open.
4th consecutive punt for Tampa Bay. Anger boots it from his own 30. And Tampa Bay unable to get the bounce they wanted as it goes through the back of the end zone. 61 yards in the punt, 20-7 Broncos.
Time is the most valuable commodity on Earth.
What if a machine could give you back your time?
A machine designed to respect your time would be priceless.
Complimentary Service Valet.
We pick up your car and give you a replacement.
So you can spend your time however you wish.
Introducing Genesis. In a world scrambling to put itself first.
Respect is a breath of fresh luxury.
You love all-day breakfast.
I love all-day breakfast.
But you don't love that you can't get all your favorites all day.
But I want McGriddles, too.
But now you'll love that you can get more all day, like those McGriddles.
Yeah, I do love that.
So you'll have to find something else to not love, like dog strollers. Or football players who stress the word "the."
The Glencoe Brooks State Community College.
Or inappropriately timed political discussions.
It's as if it didn't even matter.
Get more choices you love, now with all-day breakfast.
This is the house of the passionate. This is the house of the brave. Of those who keep fighting, who honor traditions. And this is the house of their beer. Casa Modelo, home of the clean, crisp taste of Especial and the rich, smooth flavor of Negra. Quality beers, brewed for those who believe in better since 1925. Welcome to Casa Modelo.
With full game replays, you can replay entire games, which gives you more football. Start your free trial at NFL.com/Game Pass.
You are watching the NFL on CBS.
Reminder coming up after the game, time permitting, the Subway postgame show from New York. JB, Tony, Bart Boomer, and Coach Cowher standing by. Get you caught up around the NFL. All next on the Subway postgame show. Second half possessions for Denver. No Trevor Siemian. He's been on that Broncos sideline since late in the second quarter. Left shoulder injury, so Paxton Lynch, their first-round pick, making plays happen. Demaryius Thomas with a catch and run. Finally forced out of bounds after a 31-yard pass play. Darryl Smith finally got to him.
Easy to find Thomas. Watch Grimes. He's going to slip and fall on this one. And receivers who can win at the top of the route, as Thomas does there, creating separation, getting open, make it easy for Paxton Lynch to find him down the field and provide for an easy completion.
Thomas now over 90 yards receiving for a third consecutive game. That his first 100-yard game last week in Cincinnati. Big play here to set up a 1st and 10. Lynch taking another shot down the field. Flag comes in. It was Thomas and Grimes get tangled up.
Now this one's tough because Grimes was stacked on top of him.
Pass interference. Offense.
Yeah.
Number 88. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
This is what we call offensive pass interference. Remember, it's the receiver's job to avoid contact. See, he's grabbing at Brent Grimes, and I think that was a good call. The receiver cannot initiate contact once they're more than 5 yards down the field. Clearly, that was Thomas initiating contact, trying to get around Grimes to get to the ball.
Well, Thomas is so big, it's barely a fair fight as is. Can't let him grab the defender like that. Officials all over it. As they will mark it back at the Denver 41, and it'll be 1st and 20, where Thomas getting a breather. There's Paxton Lynch, the 26th overall pick in the NFL draft, from the gun where he's so comfortable. Hands off to Booker, who picks up 3 to set up second down coming up and under 13 minutes remaining.
Devontae Booker, promising young running back out of Utah. They took him in the 4th round. Remember, Ronnie Hillman had been one of those running backs that teamed up with C.J. Anderson. They released Hillman because they thought Booker would be such an addition to their backfield going along with C.J. Anderson.
Stays on the field here on 2nd and 17. Lynch completes into Tampa Bay territory. It's Jordan Norwood. 21 yards on the catch and run. Finally brought down at the Bucs 35.
I'm impressed with the composure of Paxton Lynch. Watch him. I mean, he's reading this defense. He's cutting it loose, throwing the ball with good accuracy. That was good ball placement, allowing Norwood to catch and run and create the first down. But he's got a good feel for the zone, and he can see the field very well at 6'7". He's reading the zone coverage of the Buccaneers. Excellent.
On 1st and 10, quick strike near side of the field. Beautiful reverse spin by Jordan Taylor, putting some of his skills on display. Taylor down close to the 25, picks up 9, showing some resourcefulness. And Winston helplessly looking on.
Yeah, you wonder if these Buccaneers are going to put up a fight. Take a look at the quarterback comparison. I mean, Paxton Lynch has come on, and his production has been better than that of Jameis Winston. Remember, we were comparing the 2 quarterbacks taken in the 2015 draft. Winston taken 1st overall, Siemian, the last quarterback, taken 1 year ago.
Sanders in motion. This is 2nd and 1. This is Bibbs, and that will be enough for a Denver first down. Now, John Elway certainly liked what he saw in Lynch. They trade up to take him 26th overall, and the plan was to bring Mark Sanchez in initially. He doesn't make the team. He's, of course, moved on and give the reins to Trevor Siemian. Now Paxton Lynch has to be making John Elway feel very good about his decision. 12, make it 13 of 23 for a $165. As the pitch here to Bibbs, finding the edge, finally brought down just short of that first down marker. A burst of 9 for Denver.
Excellent blocking out in front. Russell Okung, the left tackle. Look at 73. Watch this block here. That's creating a convoy. And then Okung's like, you mean you tripped over me? I'm the guy throwing the block for you, paving a way. You can't trip over your offensive tackle.
Okung has been so good for Denver since coming over in free agency. One of their big offseason acquisitions. 2nd and short. Another run play called by Kubiak. Bibbs trying to get close to the 10. It's Denver trying to put this game away now, Salmon, with under 10 minutes left.
And we said off the top that these 2 teams kind of surprised us to start the season. There were lofty expectations for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers entering this season. And now they're trying to avoid their 5th consecutive home loss. And so you wonder if this Buccaneers team here at home is going to put up a fight. Because right now, the Denver Broncos are playing with a backup quarterback who's a rookie.
Looks like Levante David, the injured Buck, the stud linebacker, as the training staff comes onto the field.
Here at Outback, the stakes have definitely been raised. We've taken our tender centre-cut sirloin, crispy hash brown cake, and topped them high with grilled shrimp on the barbie or onion rings. Hurry in. Outback Steak Towers start at just $15.99.
Assists, completions. He's Mr. Instant Meeting, Ed Feldman.
Press 1 to lead your team onto the meeting field. Start your free trial at gotomeeting.com.
Time is the most valuable commodity on Earth.
What if a machine could give you back your time?
A machine designed to respect your time would be priceless.
Complimentary service valet.
We pick up your car and give you a replacement.
So you can spend your time however you wish.
Introducing Genesis. In a world scrambling to put itself first.
Respect is a breath of fresh luxury.
Gonna need one big push. You got one more? Here we go.
Congrats! I hear you're having a baby.
Doing very good, just breathe. Here we go.
You better start saving for college tuition.
And you'll probably need a bigger house at some point.
But New York Life can help you manage your family's financial future, so you can relax and enjoy life's special moments. Like this moment. That's what being good at life is all about, right?
Be good at life. New York Life.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Outback Steakhouse, Bloomin' Great, Auto Trader. Find your perfect new, used, or certified car on Auto Trader. And by New York Life. With the right guidance, everyone can be good at life.
You see some of those menacing clouds in the background. Bucs had their game here suspended for about an hour and 10 minutes late last Sunday night against the Rams, with lightning showers coming into play. Here on 1st and 10, this is Booker inching a little bit closer to the end zone. A pickup of 7 for the Broncos.
No Gerald McCoy. He's out due to that calf injury. Remember, we talked to him about Aqib Talib. The one thing he mentioned was Aqib Talib kind of infused the entire locker room with a certain energy that allowed players to really compete. He said he's the kind of guy that holds you accountable. Well, right now, the Buccaneers are missing that kind of presence because they need to put up a fight. Still plenty of football left to be played.
2nd and 3. They need the 2 for the first down. Lynch throwing on the run. End zone to Sanders. Wide open for the Denver touchdown. And now a flag is thrown in the back corner of the end zone. Likely to be an excessive celebration penalty against the Broncos. But another long and impressive drive orchestrated by Paxton Lynch.
Well, when receivers are getting wide
there is
open.
no foul for excessive celebration. The receiver did not go to the ground. Touchdown.
Yeah, receivers are getting open. This is going to be Brent Grimes. Now, he's working against Emmanuel Sanders. He's going to slip and fall, but nice route, nice cut as he gets separation from Grimes, who slips and falls down. Emmanuel Sanders is something else. Excellent route run.
First career touchdown pass for Paxton Lynch on in relief of the injured Trevor Siemian, and McManus's point after is good. Pretty good security blanket when you've got Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas as Lynch marches them 80 yards. All Denver and Tampa Bay.
I'm Jamie Foxx for Verizon. In the nation's largest independent study by Root Metrics, again, Verizon is the #1 network.
Hi, I'm Jamie Foxx for Sprint. And I'm Jamie Foxx for T-Mobile. And we're just as good.
Really? Only Verizon was ranked #1 nationally in data, reliability, text and call and speed. Yeah. And you're gonna fist pump to that? Get out of my sight.
Unlimited isn't a good deal if it's on a cut-rate network. Switch now and get our best deal. 20 gigs and 4 lines for only $160. All on America's best network.
We believe in respect.
It brings out our very best.
We respect time. It's the most valuable thing humans possess.
We respect design.
And creativity. Respect displays the best of who we are. Because respect sees another as worthy of our time.
Introducing Genesis. In a world scrambling to put itself first.
Respect is a breath of fresh luxury.
Nobody comes into this house without paying the price.
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these.
Nobody comes into this house without paying the price.
More people save by combining their home and auto with State Farm to help life go right.
On October 14th.
So what now?
It's time to show the world just how funny Kevin Hart is.
Experience the comedy event that made history.
Let's stop wasting time.
Nobody said anything about a kiss?
What now? Rated R. In theaters October 14th.
There are trillions of dollars of natural resources buried under this Arctic ice. So what's the American government doing about it? Watch 60 Minutes to find out tonight.
Colbert's going live again after the vice presidential debate.
You see it there, we make fun of it here.
Live Tuesday, only CBS.
Emmanuel Sanders all smiles on that Denver sideline. 3rd touchdown catch of the season, 29th of his career as Paxton Lynch enjoying his first career touchdown toss.
Well, we told you these receivers are very talented. They'll get open. It really does make it an easy throw for Paxton Lynch.
So just under the 9-minute mark left. The Bucs have one final gasp left here at Raymond James Stadium. Coming up Thursday, your weekend starts here when the Cardinals tackle the Niners. Thursday Night Football, CBS, NFL Network, and streaming live on Twitter. Well, if you've just joined us, as a reminder, Arizona right now up in front of the Rams. And San Francisco, who was up on Dallas early in that game, trailing at last check. So we look forward to that coming up on Thursday night. But getting back to Tampa Bay, saw him in a grand total of 6 total yards in the second half.
Wow.
First and 10. This is Winston off the seam. Evans wide open. Rare opening in the back end of that Denver secondary. Stewart eventually on the tackle. 25 yards and a first down.
Yeah, you see he and Chris Harris Jr., they got switched up. He and Brantley Roby. Combination route to that side. Both corners sat and allowed Evans to get open down the field.
Flag comes in. Could be a free play. This is Evans stumbling to the Denver 43-yard line. A pickup of 8. We'll get the call here.
Illegal shift, offense, number 11, 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
It's on Adam Humphries.
Costly penalties. Coach Cutter's offense. We saw it in the first half. Offense kind of got some rhythm. They were moving, and then penalties on the offensive line aborted what looked to be a promising drive.
First and 15, the late handoff to Rodgers as he gets to the 50, a pickup of 5. Reminder coming up after the game, time permitting, we'll have the Subway postgame show. JB, Tony, Bart Boomer, and Coach Cowher standing by in New York on the Subway postgame show. Second and 10, Winston from the gun, throwing a dart near side of the field to Humphries, who makes the catch. So third down coming up, and once again, Solomon, I know they tried to commit to the run game, just didn't have much success in terms of production, as an injured Buck now will be 10-2. And they just never had much of a chance against this Denver defense.
No, because they were forced to try to convert on 3rd and longs. The offensive line didn't provide adequate protection for Jameis Winston. And when they did have time, there were times when he forced the ball into coverage, and Aqib Talib made him pay for it with 2 first-half interceptions.
That is their center, Joe Hawley. Told you earlier, had to leave the game briefly last week in the 4th quarter with an ankle injury. Missed some time in practice this week. Jameis Winston told us about just how feisty he is. Says he acts like a left tackle instead of a center, always trying to mix it up with the defense. And so Hawley will try to catch his breath, as now Evan Smith will come on at center.
Play, 3rd down play. They've got to get something going on offense. Combination routes to the top is what really has worked for this offense.
3rd and 6. Winston over the middle and incomplete. Intended for Brate, the tight end. And it will be 4th and 6. And those ominous storm clouds now are really starting to move atop Raymond James Stadium.
And they saw this 1 week ago, didn't they?
And you can hear the boos as Dirk Cutter elects to send out his punter, Brian Anger. How about this decision?
I would have liked to see him go for it on 4th down. 4th and 6. I'd like to see him go for it and keep swinging, keep playing and competing.
Not hard to understand why you're hearing the boos here. This is a Bucs team that is 3-15 in their last 18 home games here in Tampa Bay. 36 yards in the punt, 27-7 Denver on CBS.
shift. Introducing the new Titan with America's best truck warranty. 5 years, 100,000 miles, bumper to bumper.
I'm fine.
Alexa, play Broken Wings.
Okay.
Take these broken wings.
You're ridiculous. Sarah! Come on!
Alexa, turn on the sprinklers.
Okay.
Got him.
Applebee's USDA Choice Top Sirloin isn't just a top choice cut of meat. For under $10, it's a top choice for your wallet. Applebee's new hand-cut wood-fired grilled steak. Now only $9.99 for a limited time. Only at Applebee's.
Awards are great, but I'm more than just a trophy. I'm moving forward with Oikos Triple Zero with 15 grams of protein, 0 added sugar, 0 fat, 0 artificial sweetener. Oikos Triple Zero Greek non-fat yogurt. Be unsstoppably you.
TV's #1 comedy, The Big Bang Theory. Don't miss a new episode CBS Monday.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And by Subway Restaurants.
Back with you from Raymond James Stadium. You can see the storm clouds overhead. Again, their game last week was held up for about an hour and 10 minutes due to lightning. That 5-point loss to the LA Rams. And hopefully the weather holds off here, but it certainly doesn't look good. As Paxton Lynch brings his offense back onto the field. This is Devontae Booker. Crosses the 10 and brought down by Clinton McDonald after a minimal pickup to set up a 2nd and 9.
Well, you get the sense the Denver Broncos now want to just run the football, eat clock, and get out of here. This is a team that's built to run the football. I know they came in ranked 14th in the NFL, averaging over 110 yards rushing per game.
Here's Jerome Boger.
There is an imminent severe weather storm close to the area. The game is being suspended temporarily to see what happens with the storm.
All right, deja vu for these fans at Raymond James Stadium.
Yeah, and just as he said it, I saw on the horizon a little crack of lightning.
So this game will be halted here at the 6:52 mark of the 4th quarter. The delay last week lasted exactly 69 minutes. That game was a little bit closer than this one, as Denver will take a comfortable 20-point lead back into their locker room.
It's all for the safety of everyone. The fans in the stadium and the players and coaches down on the field.
Well, this has been a one-sided affair if you've just joined us. Trevor Siemian started the game for the Broncos, was hurt, a left shoulder injury. Paxton Lynch coming on, and Denver really hasn't skipped a beat. We saw Gary Kubiak getting the explanation from the officials. As we head into a weather delay here in Tampa Bay, 27-7, the Broncos in front.
This is not what we expected. We didn't expect this kind of score. We expected Tampa Bay Buccaneers to defend their home turf more competitively. And yeah, I don't know, Spiro, can you read that? I was told the green is water, because that's rain, light rain, and then the yellow means a little more heavier rain, and then red's bad rain. I mean, lots of it.
That's about all I got for you. Red is bad when it comes to meteorology. But an imminent threat of weather and a threat of lightning, we've been told here. So both teams will retreat to their respective locker rooms. And we asked Dirk Cutter just how kind of difficult that delay was last week for both teams. Of course, for Tampa Bay and for the Rams as well. You know, you're out here in the muggy humidity. You go into the air-conditioned locker room for over an hour. And then suddenly you got to come back out And they were entrenched in a game that was still yet to be decided at that point. But here it was, Buccaneers-Rams. It was a 5-point game with 2 minutes left when the teams were sent back into the locker room.
Ooh.
And then they had to come out after a 69-minute delay and get lathered up in a hurry. Jameis Winston was able to bring his troops onto the field, but their last-ditch attempt to win it came up short as they fell to the Rams 37-32.
Yeah, it cooled off a Tampa Bay's offense that really had been red hot. They were storming back in that game 1 week ago against the Rams. You talked to many of the players, they felt like they had the Rams on the run because they were going up tempo with the offense. The heat and humidity had worn them down. They were storming back, and then they had the rain delay. They felt like the Rams were able to rest and recover during that hour and 10-minute delay. The Rams end up holding on to win it. So much of the NFL and so much of playing football is about momentum, Spiro, and in these lulls in a more competitive game, you know, both teams have to be able to handle it and have to be able to turn it into their advantage.
All right, so we'll hang out for a little bit. We will be here when play resumes, but in the meantime, we will send you to New York and James Brown.
All right, Spiro, welcome back to Studio 43. And, of course, we're waiting out with you guys there, the weather situation there in Tampa. But as we talk a little bit about the game, when we last chatted, we talked about how Denver did not miss a beat at all going to the youngster Paxton Lynch.
No, they didn't. And I love the fact that they just opened it up with him. They kept it relatively simple. They moved him out of the pocket a little bit. He could throw really well on the run. But I think the way that he's handling the pocket, handling the shotgun, and throwing the ball down the field is awesome. The way they're doing this, they're not really in any way trying to protect them.
I mean, both these quarterbacks fit what Gary Kubiak wants to do with this offense. And Paxton Lynch, even there was some talk in training camp that they thought they would start him. I don't think that Gary wanted to because he was the rookie, and Trevor Siemian had a year in this system. But you can just see they haven't missed a beat.
No, they haven't.
They really haven't. You can see the strength of Paxton Lynch. I mean, in some respects, I think he looks more the prototypical quarterback. He's athletic, he's tall, he's got a great arm. I'm very impressed. This is kind of my first look at the kid.
But it's really about C.J. Anderson. When you talk about the Denver Broncos, they're built to support any type of quarterback. When you have a strong running game and a defense like that, that's going to get you turnovers. You talk about a key to lead, 2 interceptions on the day, setting the offense up in scoring position. When you have that type of, nucleus of young stars, dominant stars, a suffocating defense and a run game that can take the air out of the game, you're always going to be on there. So it's just pitch and catch for any quarterback because they got to come up and respect C.J. Anderson for the play action pass.
Yeah, I think if you look at what these quarterbacks have done, Paxton Lynch, Trevor Siemian coming in, first-time starters, playing such good football. Actually, obviously, Paxton Lynch didn't start this game. But to come in and have that type of success, that tells me, let's take it back. They get to go against that defense every day. Yeah. Let's not overlook that. I mean, Paxton Lynch has been going against one of the best defensive coverage units in the NFL, if not arguably the best in all the NFL, and he's coming in playing against guys that aren't as good as his own defense that he faces every day. So I think that's part of the reason he's having such great success.
It's almost like the only team not having a Super Bowl hangover is the Denver Broncos, because certainly the Carolina Panthers are. Yeah. The Patriots lost today. The Baltimore Ravens lost today.
Arizona Cardinals in the championship game.
Exactly, and they're struggling right now. So the Denver Broncos, whatever they're doing out there, is just absolutely, they're on top of their game. They're plugging in rookies and young quarterbacks, and their defense is still one of the best, even though they lost Malik Jackson and Danny Trevathan.
Yeah. And even though we're talking a lot about the quarterbacks, and I know this is an offensively oriented league, let's not forget, that defense is just flat out awesome,
It is the best in the business, and you can say what you want. Here's a little bit of what we're talking about from today, and you can just see there's a key to lead. This was the first touchdown right here, but again, it's the pressure, it's the instinct between the front and the back end. You can see the pressure up the middle, then you can see it coming from the end. I'll tell you, they make it so hard for a quarterback because you can never get comfortable. They're so disruptive in what they do, pressure in the pocket, disruptive in what they want to do in the back end because they're guys that can play the ball. There's no matchup that you can say, okay, I'm going to do this to this defense. there's no weakness in his defense. There's no weak link.
And you talk about Wade Phillips and his defense. We call it organized chaos, because what happens is now they're able to expand on that package because this is their second year together. So now you have looks that are on film that you can add to, and the playbook continues to grow. And that's what happens when you have a unit that's going to stay together and the coordinator that knows what he's doing. He's able to build the package, and he uses your studying against you. He uses your knowledge, your tendencies, and he switches them up at the right time. So Wade Phillips has a lot of tricks up his pocket. He's been doing it for a long time. You know, to me, much like Rex Ryan, he's like a defensive whisperer because he keeps you on your toes with all these looks, and he gives everybody on the defense an opportunity. And that was the beautiful part for me, coming in on Wednesday, and everybody gets an opportunity. This week is your week. This week is your week. Yeah. This week is coach's week. And what happens is now you're excited because just last week you were the guy jumping on a grenade for everybody, but now they're jumping on a grenade for you. So now what happens is everybody plays fast, everybody plays for each other, and that's a dangerous unit.
This has been a great day because we were in here at 6:30 this morning. We were watching we got a chance to watch the London game. Yep. Yeah, this has been great. So we can just stay in here for the Sunday night game, too. Maybe we'll wait for the Monday night game.
Can we get some pieces?
I'm smiling with our colleague Klaus because we're chuckling as well, saying Bill could go and do it for 24 hours. Let me just reset and just say a reminder that tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and a report on the riches of the Arctic frontier. That'll be followed by a new episode of NCIS Los Angeles, plus the season premiere, Madam Secretary, and Elementary. All coming up tonight only on CBS. And as we talk about, again, the defenses here, again, through the first half of the season, I'm mindful of what you and Boomer were saying. You know what? A book hasn't been gotten on these quarterbacks yet. But talk about what the young quarterbacks in general have been doing, because you started noting them as you were counting earlier.
Yeah, well, you start with Carson Wentz because he's been off the charts, and Philadelphia's obviously undefeated, and they're on a bye this week. So everything he's doing with a playbook that seems to be, at least Doug Peterson is saying, wide open, and he can handle all of that is pretty amazing. Jimmy Garoppolo was amazing until he got hurt. Jacoby Brissett struggled today. It was a real struggle. They got after him. Now, he was also playing with a bad thumb.
And he's also the third quarterback.
Yes.
This was not the backup. This is the third quarterback, and like you said, and he was struggling, Boom.
And yet, Dak Prescott still has not thrown an interception. They're beating San Francisco right now.
No, absolutely.
Well, hold on. We're going to step aside for an instant update.
Ding, ding, ding. Instant update. Melvin Gordon on the 2-yard touchdown run to go up 31-21. It's his second of the day. Right now, talk about Phillip Rivers, 297 yards passing Melvin Gordon. Only 35 yards, but 2 touchdowns straight to pay dirt.
The other thing about some of the older quarterbacks that are struggling, like Ryan Fitzpatrick and Carson Palmer, and those guys are really going to be hearing it from their fans, especially if Arizona loses today. But I've been on the other side of like what Jameis Winston is feeling like today. He's being assaulted, just like Andrew Luck was being assaulted by Jacksonville earlier today. I mean, it's just like they're coming from everywhere. And sometimes you think there's like 15 guys out there because that defensive line is so fast and so sudden, and they put so much pressure on that pocket that you got to make a decision like this. And if you're off just a little bit, it's going to turn into an interception.
Speaking of fast and sudden, let me just remind folks that's exactly what's taking place in Tampa. Denver's leading 27-7, but there is a weather delay because of a fast-moving weather system going through the Tampa area. Severe lightning, and obviously the NFL exercising an abundance of caution, evacuating the stadium of the fans and the players to see how quickly this storm moves through. And at that point, we will rejoin the game. But back to our discussion here.
It's crazy because when you think about all the young quarterbacks that's successful in the league right now, they all have the complete teams. They're supported by strong running games for the most part. Other than Dak Prescott, they have strong defenses around them. You think about some of the quarterbacks that's struggling. Andrew Luck, I mean, I understand they gave him a big contract, but how can you expect him to do everything? He's going to be exhausted. You talk about last year, you put your quarterback on IR, and you didn't go out and you didn't spend enough money to protect him. You talk about 8-man protection. Yeah. You got 2 tight ends in the protection, putting 2 guys on the route, and you still can't protect your quarterback. He's taking the high road because at some point, Andrew Luck's going to have to point some guys out like, listen, you guys have to protect me, and you have to hold each other accountable. I hope that's what's going on in the meeting rooms when they break the film down. If you can't get the job done, then I have to get you out here and give somebody else another opportunity.
Well, that's hard because they have a young offensive line right now. 3 rookies started today due to injuries. The right side of their offensive line wasn't playing great anyway. But you know what? He's a professional. He did not complain after the game.
Oh,
he never will. He's the highest paid player in the game for a reason. But I also think of Phillip Rivers and Drew Brees. Right. They've been doing this for years for their respective franchises too. But that's part of the problem in a cap system. If you want to get paid a lot of money somewhere else along the line, somebody is not going to get paid. And unfortunately for the Indianapolis Colts right now, it's the 5 guys that are standing in front of them that are really, really struggling.
And from a casual standpoint, let me ask you before we move along to the next topic. Coach, is there anything you can do scheme-wise, even though I know you've got youngsters that are trying to do the job and you've got this franchise quarterback, is there anything that can be done scheme-wise?
Well, yeah, there's things you can do scheme-wise. I mean, there's approaches you can take to the game, but the bottom line, again, is you can't turn the football over. You can't give up the big plays that you see them giving up. And, you know, and they're losing close football games. And they've won a couple of close football games, but in the process, you know, I feel like the first month of this season is kind of the identity-finding part of finding out about your football team, because you find out what your strengths are. You can't base it on 1 game or 2 games, but 4 games, it's a body of work. You find out what you have strength-wise, and then what you do is you start to tweak your team or make changes. But you got to see what you have to deal with. I mean, a lot of times you can say, yeah, bench them. But listen, what do I have to deal with? These are our guys. This is what we have. So what you may have to do is change not with guys, but change your schemes to fit what you have as a strength. If my strength is tight ends, I'm going to start utilizing schemes that take advantage of that. If my strength is my secondary, you know what? Then what I'm going to blitz more. If my back end's hurting, you know what? Maybe my front 4, I'm going to put the pressure on you. I got to help these guys in the back. So I think the thing you're trying to do that first month, and I always thought that, you know, the ability that second month of the season, the good coaches find out what they have, make the tweaks or the changes schematically or personnel-wise, but they have an identity, they understand what that is, and they make the change accordingly.
Fans of the Denver Broncos certainly had heard all the talk during a training camp and the like about Paxton Lynch, if you will, but a lot of folks are just now getting the chance to talk about it.
I'm going to tell you how about John Elway is. He's been pushing all the right buttons in the draft and free agency, bringing the right guys on. And how about some of these throws? I mean, these throws are spot on. They're in the face of pressure. They're quick. Watch how quickly he's setting his back foot and get rid of the football. And then here he is on the move. An easy completion right here for his first touchdown pass as a Denver Bronco and his professional football player. So everything that we saw of him in the combine as we're seeing come to fruition today. 14 to 24, 170 yards. And, of course, that interception. He's a big kid. He's got a quick release, and he's making pretty good decisions for his first time out there.
Trevor Siemian is back on the sideline, so it's good news for Denver right now. So, obviously, if he has to finish the game, he can. But I really like this kid.
Well, you know what? That leads me to a question for you there, Coach, because I'm saying he's playing some really good football right now. Trevor Siemian was playing some really good football right now. If they go through the whole week and they're both cleared for health next week, what do you do next Sunday when you have to take the field? What quarterback would you start?
You know what? I don't think it's even I think the health will determine a lot of that. But I got a feeling both these kids, it doesn't matter to them. They're young. They're inexperienced. They're going to do whatever the coach wants them to do. And I think Gary is pushing all the right buttons right now, because whoever you put in there, you're not changing anything. You're not changing the scheme. So you have 2 guys that can run the same system, 2 guys that are looking like they fit what you're doing, understand what you're doing. And I think that in itself gives them a great up in the standpoint of, like you say, you don't have to change anything going to your backup. I know, like I said, I really like Paxton Lynch.
Coach used the expression pushing the right buttons, and again, mindful that the New England Patriots had their 3rd-string quarterback at it. Nonetheless, Rex Ryan pushed all the right buttons today, Buffalo at New England.
Oh, he really did push all the right buttons when you talk about the Buffalo Bills. I mean, they came out, and again, this thing started early, a little bit of shoving before the game, a little edgy. But the only touchdown of the game is right here. Is Tyrod Taylor going to find LaShawn McCoy, 7-yard touchdown right here. And Jacoby Brissett, we talked about great game his first week against Houston Texans. He tries to take off run with the ball. Young man, they hit you hard in this league. You got to protect the football. The turnover right there, you can see. But they really never got any continuity going on offense. And you can see the 16-0 shutout. The last time that they were shut out at home, JB, they were shut out at home by the New York Jets in 1993. And guess who quarterbacked that New York Jets
Blonde
team
Bomber.
in 1993? We beat our own Boomer Esiason.
Right. We beat them 6-0. We played in like 14 inches of rain. Not pretty. I couldn't even see the receiver like 10 yards down the field.
But you're seeing well now. After the game, the comments of both coaches, starting with Bill Belichick.
Yeah, Norman, that's right.
Curious, when was the decision made to not be able to use Jimmy today?
When we made him inactive. I said at the beginning, nothing was good enough today.
The thoughts of having Tom Brady come back in the doors tomorrow morning. Your thoughts on Tom coming back?
Right now, my thoughts are on the Buffalo game.
On to LA, I guess.
Throughout the week, what were you expecting with them?
No, my sources inside the New England Patriot building said that Jacoby Brissett would be the quarterback. How's that? I'll stir some stuff up. Who was it? Who was it? I don't know who it was.
I mean, you know, Rex Ryan's always going to have fun, but
It's
you know,
your former coach, man.
This was a game that the Buffalo Bills absolutely had to win if they wanted to have any chance. You know, now 2-2, they're in second place in the division. You know, now they just have to continue to work. You know, because now we all know, and they know in that building. This was, you know, the degree of difficulty is going to get a lot better. You know, when Tom Brady comes back. You know, talk about all the weapons that he has. You have to win this one. You snuck one at home. It's not about who you play. It's when you play them. And you talk about a Brissett. You know, Rex Ryan. You know, they were prepared for what they were going to do. They understood they had to protect the horizontal passing game. You know, when Brady comes back, you know, the vertical passing game is going to open up, and Gronk is only going to get healthier.
So, Tony, I mean, my goodness, any New England fan or anybody on the coaching staff to be sitting at 3-1, now welcoming Tom Brady back has to be just ideal. And also, I want you to segue to Coach. I love Coach says now Coach Belichick has a little bit of an edge going into the rest of the way to prepare the guys.
Yeah, well, I agree with Coach there because now it's good to have a loss every once in a while. Am I right about that, Coach? Sometimes
Yes, you
I've heard
are.
coaches say that.
That's really,
we need a good loss, you know, to get our team focused. I can see you saying something like
There's
that.
nothing wrong. Sometimes, you know what? It wakes you up.
Oh, God.
You know what?
Baloney.
No.
I don't want to lose, Coach. I want to go out there.
No, I agree. Did he look happy?
No, he didn't.
Not
look
at
happy
all.
I don't think he ever looks happy.
He's
but
edgy.
He'll be happy tonight because I guarantee you. I bet Tom Brady's probably already at the facility getting ready for tomorrow. I bet the whole team shows up because it is going to be lights out from here on out. I've been talking about it all day. I'm excited to see Tom Brady back in this system with those weapons that we're talking about. I think Martellus Bennett is going to have a huge impact, especially as Gronk gets healthier. You're not going to be able to stop this offense, especially in the red zone.
When we won or lost, we used to have a 24-hour rule, which means for 24 hours, you can enjoy or you can sit there in misery. He's in misery right now. So I'm saying the 24 hours doesn't end until tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, but
now, tomorrow afternoon, he'll get ready for Cleveland.
Yeah, but misery for him is a good thing. I think he likes it.
But
I'll tell you,
how about the Buffalo Bills? Think about
they're
this.
not miserable.
They're 2-2.
Right.
Their next 4 games, the LA Rams, San Francisco 49ers, Miami Dolphins, and then the New England Patriots again. Ooh. So I'm just saying, these guys, you know, their first 2 losses, you think about it. They played good on defense against Baltimore and lost. Played good on offense and lost to the Jets. You saw these last 2 weeks, they kind of bring them both together. They simplified things, got the running game going. They're utilizing what their strengths are. They're playing good defense. You don't see them giving up big plays. They're a solid football team. I'm telling you, Tyrod Taylor keeps making plays with his feet. This is a good football team.
Without Sammy Watkins, too, because what happens is when you have a superstar, you're trying to force the ball to him, what happens is other players quit. But what happens when, you know, your best player's down, everybody has to elevate their game. You saw Robert Woods today, you know, really show up. You saw Charles Clay come back into the fold. You know, he's a matchup nightmare. And then you saw Shady be Shady. And what happened is they're multiple on offense. They give you a little wildcat. They keep you on your toes, and they're changing the tempo up and down. They, you know, come in, rush into the line, and hit you with different personnels and different packages.
Boomer Esiason has the top radio show here in the mornings in New York City with, of course, Craig Carton. You said it's going to be pretty ugly talk tomorrow. Seattle Seahawks came in and got the job done against the Jets.
I've been there, done that, so I know what this is going to be like for Ryan Fitzpatrick after throwing 3 more interceptions today. Look, Russell Wilson had a heck of a game against the Jet defense, and Ryan Fitzpatrick right here, victimized by Richard Sherman. This is after they beat him earlier.
When he boot
before the end of the first, and there's the boot right there. And Russell Wilson, who was playing with a bad knee and a bad ankle, was almost flawless today, and Jimmy Graham was back in the game. Take a look at Russell Wilson's numbers, 23 of 32, 309 yards, and 3 TDs. You know, there were a lot of great performances today. This just happened to be one of them. The other great performance was the Atlanta Falcons. What Matt Ryan, right? And then what Julio Jones, 300 yards receiving, and Matt Ryan, 503 yards passing, just like Russell Wilson. Just had an awesome, awesome day.
Not a pretty 2 weeks for Ryan Fitzpatrick, but he did face the media after the game.
I mean, it's obviously not somewhere we want to be right now, not somewhere we thought we'd be, but nobody's going to feel sorry for us, you know, so we can't sit here and pout about it. We've got to get back to work and try to focus on the next game.
All right, here's an instant update out in Arizona. Here's Case Keenum, his second touchdown pass to Brian Quick outside as the Rams now take the lead 17-13 late in the fourth quarter. Carson Palmer, you talk about a pressure point. You talk about a lot of issues going on right now. Arizona's got to be one of those situations, kind of like Carolina, kind of like the New York Jets. All these teams are really struggling mightily.
Speaking of issues, let me hit Coach with this one as well, too, because coaches are paid to handle issues like this. So Carson Palmer heads back to the locker room, concussion protocol with Arizona. Talk about the potential impact of that, with the squad still trying to find itself, as Tony mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a situation. You're going to be, 1-3 going into a short Thursday night game against a San Francisco team right now that looks. They're a tough football team. They're playing a lot better, and I agree with Tony. They're playing better than I thought they could. Blaine Gabbert has looked very good. Carlos Hyde running the football. Blaine Gabbert, they're running that option. And again, I know that it's kind of vogue around the National Football League, but in a short week, to get all that stuff, meshed up about who's got the responsibility-wise, this will be a big challenge for Bruce, because I'll tell you what, 1-3 is one thing. 1-4, that's, if they were to lose this game, there's going to be a sense of urgency in this game on Thursday night going into San Francisco. I didn't foresee it, but I'll tell you what, it could be 1-3.
Let's take a look at the other team in this game. Now, we all made fun of the Los Angeles Rams after that first game, that, offensive juggernaut they put on the field against the San Francisco 49ers. They are leading the division. They beat the Seattle Seahawks. And now they possibly may be about to beat the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, you talk about Todd Gurley not really, showing up, not struggling so far, but now these guys are starting to open up. And on defense, they're shutting teams out. You talk about the best, front seven. They got arguably the best defensive line in the game. They're versatile. They have playmakers at every level on that defensive line. You talk about Quinn coming across the edge. Aaron Donald, we think, is one of the most outstanding defensive tackles in the game. Let's give them some credit, because they can be 3-1. Wow.
Because football games are so important, I mean, each and every game, and again, we're mindful of what Coach said before, not to overreact in the early part of the season. When you look at the New York Jets, and I'm going back to Ryan Fitzpatrick, is it time to consider possibly changing quarterbacks with Fitzpatrick? Although I know our guy Brandon Marshall has publicly stood up for him. What are your thoughts, Tony?
The first 2 weeks he played okay, and then the last 2 weeks he has played miserably. I mean, there's no other way to really tell it. I know some of these picks are coming off of tip passes like that, and that, I know, Boomer, you know that better than anybody. That's not, you don't like it when that happens. But some of these throws are errant passes, and he's got to be better. There's no doubt about it. But I still would stick with him. I would give him a couple more weeks, because it speaks volumes when you throw 6 interceptions in the game and they still don't go to the backup quarterback in Geno Smith. I'm sorry. That tells me something, that they think there's a significant difference between these two when they go out there and play. I think Chan Gailey will go back to the drawing board and put him in a position to be successful, because if he does continue to play like this, then yeah, you have to eventually go to your backup if you're going to continue to throw picks and put your team in a hole.
To me, the bigger concern for the New York Jets is that secondary. Game in and game out, we talk about this secondary was billed as one of the top units in the game. We know they have arguably one of the best front four in the game. What happened is the lack of communication, and Russell Wilson, compromised Russell Wilson, shredded them from inside of the pocket. Jimmy Graham, for the second week in a row, they've given up almost 100 yards to a tight end. Last week it was Travis Kelce. This week it was Graham. They struggle at the safety position in dealing with athletic tight ends. And, 1 week it's the corners. The next week it's the safeties. They got to figure out to make the front end and the back end work in unison.
It doesn't get any easier. They go to Pittsburgh and they go to Arizona the next 2 weeks.
There's nothing more miserable than waking up on a 2-game losing streak. And Brandon Marshall, as you said, if Fitz is going down, I'm going down with the ship, because I'm not asking for a change. I don't want to change. And I'll tell you right now, it's great to hear Brandon say that, because, Fitz is had one of the best years last year that any quarterback has ever had in the Jet history. But it's going to be another tough week for them.
Coach, you were saying emphatically that is a good
I just say it's times like this when you find out, you say that adversity builds character. It really doesn't. It reveals it. And so you find out about the people you're surrounding yourself with. It's very important for Todd Bowles to keep them focused on the very next game at hand. You can't control the past. The only thing you can control right now is the very next game, and assessing the fact we cannot give up big plays. We cannot turn the football over. Let's just go back to the basics. Football can get very complex. You can say this and do that. But when things start to go awry, you go back to the basic fundamentals of the game of football. And what that is defensively is not giving up big plays. And offensively, it's not beating yourself. This team has got some talent. They got a lot of good football players. Veterans need to stand up and take charge in that locker room. The preparation has to go up a notch, and there's got to be more of a sense of urgency now each week. I don't play tight. I don't worry about that. But the sense of urgency in preparation has to go up a notch.
And the name Chan Gailey was mentioned. Nobody on this desk knows him better than you, Coach.
And I know Chan, and he's going to do whatever he has to do to make sure that they feel comfortable. They have a plan in place. He's going to exercise whatever he needs to do with whatever he's got available to him. I know Decker didn't play this week, and the other kid, Marshall, was out. But, you know, listen, I would sit there and say, listen, let's try to shorten this game. Let's get back to running the football game. I mean, I wouldn't want my Ryan Fitzpatrick, where he is right now, throwing the ball 40 times a game. If that means we go, we run it a couple times, you get in a 3rd and 5 and 6, good kicking game, let's put the onus on our defense so we can get back into a rhythm offensively and make sure, again, do the things we need to do. Don't turn it over, and defensively, don't give up the big play.
For me, it's times like this where they miss Chris Ivory, because you talk about Bilal Powell, you talk about Matt Forte, they're pretty much the same type of runner. They don't have that hammer, right? They don't have that power running game. They don't have that power runner. You know, they picked up Austin Seferian-Jenkins from waiver wires. You know, he's a talented player. If they can get him coached up, you know, he's an advantage for them in the passing game. While Deckard is out, maybe they can coach him up and maybe they can find something that way.
I just don't like where they are right now. And,
it's more than one element.
It's more than one element, but we knew that it was going to be tough going into the season.
You did.
You looked at their season opening 6 games on the schedule. You knew it was going to be tough. If they could get the 3-3 after 6, they'd give themselves a chance. Well, now they've dug themselves a hole, and they're going to have to win. They're going to have to win one of the next 2 at least. And if they want to stay pace with the Patriots, who I think are probably going to go on a great run here with Tom Brady coming back, their best chance now is they have to win the next 2 to get the 3-3 and then go from there.
And I'll just say this. What was the Kansas City Chiefs last year after 7 games? 1-6.
But I'm not going to go bang the drum, though.
Well, that's okay.
And just by way of a reminder for someone who may be tuning in right now, we are experiencing a weather delay in Tampa. There's lightning and heavy storms in the area. So, again, the NFL has evacuated the stadium there. All of the players' play will resume when the league has determined that it is safe to do so. Right now, Denver is on top 27-7 over Tampa Bay with about 6 minutes and 52 seconds left in regulation. That's the stats right now with respect to that, and we will keep you abreast of when the league does make a decision of what they're going to do. But keep in mind that we're also going to step aside and take a break in just a moment here. But Boomer, you're going to say.
I was just going to say a couple games coming to an end. Dallas just beat San Francisco 24-17. And the Arizona Cardinals just threw an interception under 1:30 to go in that game. And that was Drew Stanton, who was in for the injured Carson Palmer. And it looks like the L.A. Rams are going to go to 3-1 of all teams. And, of course, the Dallas Cowboys win a tough road game at San Francisco.
How big a surprise with the Rams?
It's huge. I mean, nobody would have thought, especially with all the stuff going on with them, moving cities and all that other stuff, and a quarterback that really nobody had a lot of confidence in, who has really played well the last couple of weeks.
No question about it. All right, as we said, we are just filling time right now while that game is being delayed there in Tampa. But a programming note, many of you are going to 60 Minutes. That'll be right after this word from your local station, and we'll update you when play resumes from Tampa. Again, the Denver Broncos on top of Tampa by 26-22. Make that 6:52 left in regulation. Back with more in a moment.
Yeah, we'll be here, JB.
It's raining.
Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
CBS Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.
Don't miss the new hit series MacGyver, CBS Friday, 8/7 Central.
At Lexus, what we learn on the track doesn't stay on the track.
It just finds more street-legal form. Experience the power and precision of the Lexus F-Sport Performance line. This is the pursuit of perfection.
In the beginning, this place was pure creation. I have designed every inch of it, every blade of grass. It's not a theme park, but an entire world. In here, we create life itself. Out of chaos.
Once you get in the Army, you hear the term Ranger, and you look at it as the highest standards. I was extremely proud to be part of the 1st Ranger Battalion. When I was deployed, I knew that USAA was taking care of my wife when she was back home. And now I know with my son, the USAA will continue to provide the insurance and protection we need.
They always say, you've served your country, so we're here to serve you.
My name is Alejandro Villanueva, and I'm a USAA member for life.
Call USAA today to talk about your insurance needs.
You are watching NFL Sunday Ticket.
For 5 weeks, this no-man's land of ice was home to an expeditionary team of sailors, scientists, and engineers whose mission was to understand how to survive in maybe the most hostile conditions on Earth.
How cold does it get up here?
It's about 25 below zero with a wind chill.
The stakes are high, trillions of dollars of natural gas and oil long buried under the sea floor. Which is one reason we came upon a U.S. attack.
Money Watch, sponsored by American Express Open, proud supporter of growing businesses.
Good evening. On Friday, the Labor Department is expected to announce a gain of 171,000 jobs for September. Ford, GM, and Toyota are among the automakers reporting monthly sales figures tomorrow. And a 1910 Honus Wagner baseball card sold for a record $3.12 million. I'm Rena Ninen, CBS News.
Will your business be ready when growth presents itself? American Express Open Cards can help you take on a new job. Or fill a big order. Or expand your office and take on whatever comes next. Find out how American Express cards and services can help prepare you for growth at open.com.
For more, go to cbsmoneywatch.com.
Don't let dust and allergens get between you and life's beautiful moments. Flonase gives you more complete allergy relief. Most allergy pills only control one inflammatory substance. Flonase controls 6, and 6 is greater than 1. Flonase changes everything.
Caramel yogurt.
Love that.
Sweet and salty.
So good. That is my childhood.
Can I have another?
Introducing chef-level snacking, Fage crossovers, caramel Greek yogurt with almonds.
I work round the clock. I want my blood sugar to stay in control, so I asked about Tresiba. Tresiba is a once-daily, long-acting insulin that lasts even longer than 24 hours.
I want to trim my A1C. Tresiba provides powerful A1C reduction, releases slow and steady, works like your body's insulin.
When my schedule changes, I want something that delivers. I can take Tresiba any time of day, so if I miss or delay a dose, I take it when I remember, as long as there's at least 8 hours between doses.
Once in use, it lasts 8 weeks without refrigeration, twice as long as Lantus, which lasts 4 weeks.
Tresiba is used to control high blood sugar in adults with diabetes. Don't use Tresiba to treat diabetic ketoacidosis during episodes of low blood sugar or if you're allergic to any of its ingredients. Don't share needles or insulin pens. Don't reuse needles. The most common side effect is low blood sugar, which may cause dizziness, sweating, confusion, and headache. Check your blood sugar. Low blood sugar can be serious and may be life-threatening. Injection site reactions may occur. Tell your doctor about all medicines you take and all your medical conditions. Taking TZDs with insulins like Tresiba may cause serious side effects like heart failure. Your insulin dose shouldn't be changed without asking your doctor. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing, fast heartbeat, extreme drowsiness, swelling of your face, tongue, or throat, dizziness, or confusion. Ask your doctor if you're Tresiba ready.
Throughout our history, the world has witnessed medical discoveries once thought impossible. Now the future of medicine will take its next giant leap here at Bunker Hill. At this hospital, there is no limit to what we can do. Welcome to the revolution.
The sea ice over the Arctic is melting and shrinking so fast, we will see in our lifetime something that hasn't happened, it's believed, since the end of the last ice age, the opening of an ocean, the Arctic Ocean. And with that, access to trade routes and trillions of dollars worth of oil and natural gas, almost as much as the entire U.S. economy. But this isn't a story about climate change. This is a story about the competition for those riches. The Russians, for instance, have already amassed a major military presence in the region. It's also about pioneers, U.S. scientists and naval personnel learning to tough it out in the harshness of this still ice-covered frontier. We discovered just how harsh on a recent trip to the Arctic. The Arctic Ocean sits on top of the globe, encircled by Russia, which encompasses about half of its coastline, Norway, Greenland, Canada, and the United States, thanks to Alaska. We flew as guests of the Navy from Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, 200 miles in the direction of the North Pole, over fractured, thinning ice, to a spot where the ice was still thick enough to support this base camp. It was a small, temporary village, disrupting the peace and purity of the ice, white as far as the eye can see. The camp was built for a scientific and military exercise called ICEX 2016.
Hi, everyone. How do you do? Nice to meet you. Welcome.
For 5 weeks, this no-man's land of ice was home to an expeditionary team of sailors, scientists, and engineers whose mission was to understand how to survive in maybe the most hostile conditions on Earth. The Navy says those taking part in this exercise are the first humans ever to set foot on this part of the planet.
It's actually beautiful beyond belief, isn't it?
It really is. You know.
Chuck McGuire was one of the first to arrive. He's an engineer with the University of Washington's Applied Physics Lab that was brought in to build this camp from scratch.
So you get off the plane, there's nothing. There's no shelter, there's no indoors.
No.
There was just ice.
Ice everywhere. That's right.
And you say, how am I going to survive?
You pick up a hammer and start building.
They built a makeshift city called Sargo for roughly 60 people, consisting of a command post, tight living quarters, a mess hall stocked with food airlifted in weekly, and some very primitive toilet facilities.
That outhouse is really cold.
Outhouse is awful. Oh my God. What about water? You can't just eat the ice, right?
You can if you know what you're looking for.
This ice mining team knows what to look for